So when I made this video a while ago, I started off by asking a question. Now I'm on mute. I started off by asking a question, and then I was going to daven Nate, and then come back, and I was going to splice in a Shabbos Yishalayim from the Miami Boys, which I always like because the words are really impactful. Talking about Shabbos and Yerushalayim, and then I struggled to put it all together. For one part, because I don't have internet here, and secondly, I couldn't figure out where the files are stored on this computer. And just now, I started recording this. I figured it while I would look where it stores this. In there, it's, by the way, I'm taping this Monday night, 11:15 p.m. after Shavuos. And you're probably going to get it up soon, if not already, and download it. So, a couple things. Here's what's happening. First is this little bit, and I only have one real message for you going into this little long thing. During the parts where I'll put some song in or something so you can see the difference. But I asked a question, and then you think about it. I'll put in a song, and you can think about it. I don't know why, but that morning I had just woken up from sleeping. But I was talking so fast that even I needed to listen to it at 0.75 speed in order to understand what I was saying. And I even mentioned it at the end of the video that they should make a machine that you can use to so that people can hear you at 0.75 speed, even like in real time, which is kind of goofy, but true. So I'll try to stop yawning. I have a lot to do. Now, one last thing is there are a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where I either say something that I meant to say an add-on, or I'm speaking so unintelligibly that you can't see it, so I will mark that. And and the other thing is, in the beginning especially, the audio is terrible, and that's not because I can't speak. It's because I didn't realize that it was taking the audio off of the AirPod that was in my pocket. So, yeah, I'm not going to do this all again and again and again. So what I'm going to do now is go straight to the question, then a song, then the answer, which I absolutely hope you go to 0.75 speed, and the Dvar Torah ends with my point, and that's it. And then I will make a little playlist of some other songs, perhaps, or whatever, and let you know that it's time to download. I'll upload it and let you know it's time to download. I love you very much. Look forward to seeing you. I don't know if I'll see you tomorrow night or Thursday morning or breakfast. Hopefully, I say hopefully because I don't know if I'll have a car, but hopefully we will. I think Sarah will be getting off work then. And I don't think she's going to see you Wednesday night either. For sure not. So we'll both plan on that. I'll make sure she knows. Because she'll just be getting off work. So wake up early on Thursday morning. Anyways, love you. Don't forget to stop at the duty-free shop. And I'll talk to you soon.
ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך ואפילו בהסתרה.
Time. I was using 17. 517 meet is 533. So here's a quick question before we start. Desert Island, would you rather, however you want to do that. Here's a trivia question that I thought of all by myself. I hope another person. The question is, would you rather, if you're going to stop, okay, if you're stuck on a desert island, the question is, would you rather be stuck on that island with the following? Would you rather have a beautiful, Detroit wristwatches that have all the perfect time, and once the battery goes in, it's forever, and it'll tell you to the minute what time is just everything, and date, for a picture of what I mean, especially the Apple Watch, it has a lot of that too, and just a nice watch, so at least what time to generate and things like that. Or would you rather have a or would you rather have, or the second item, I probably should have written all this down. Bear with me, I don't want to have some to get into the yeah. Okay. So would you rather have would you rather have rather have a watch because at least it would be something that would you hopefully in 7 years you won't understand that. Number two, you're stuck on this island and you're given a choice. Do you take the watch, or do you take like like a really good knife, okay? Like a good knife, so then you'll be able to I don't know, fuck an island, you need a knife, cut them, that's not gonna cut down a tree, but a really sharp, but like that you're holding like a not an axe knife. I know how to, there's tons of fruit on this island. Go to climb a tree. Like you used to be the absolute scariest tree climber I've ever seen. Or you're stuck on this island, and you're gonna have you're gonna have you're stuck on this island with your husband, or whatever that may be, and the third choice is parasite. Okay, I don't do multiple things. My core audience, that's why I get the numbers like that. So here we go. Hi, Ayelet. Good morning. I have 13 minutes to get going on and get to that part so that I can dive in I'm not sharing this on my channel. Maybe it's more talk about Star Wars and not this, but to you, Ayelet, here's your quiz. You just did a year of Israel, so let me ask you a question. You're coming back, and all of a sudden, a Ruach HaKodesh says you're going to be in a problem. You better have that one item with you. Which one are you going to choose so that, God forbid, the plane goes down on this tropical island and we're stuck with one of the things? Which one do you want? Choice number one. Watch. Choice number two. The knife. Okay. Choice number three. Beautiful pair of tefillin that are the case is waterproof the whole thing. Okay. I'm going to do a thing. We'll be back. My God, that really. I can't write in sentences, essays. Simply show question in 10 seconds. It takes 5 minutes. Ask for my doctor for a referral request by text. 6,000 words. Don't brevity.
ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך ואפילו
Okay, there we go. So, I guess we'll see if I have the time to put a kind interlude for you to consider the question, but for me it's been about 41. You hopefully remember the time. Okay, so back to the question. What is your choice? You're talking about the desert island, and alright. Here's the question. Stuck on a desert island, and just, in case the plane goes down, you want to have something with you that will help you in what you need. What do you take? Choices were, gosh, I should have written this down sometime. Okay, the choices were the watch, the knife, and the tefillin. Oh, here, right here. It's funny. I don't know if you've ever seen a tefillin. They're really nice. Love story for another time. But first grandson after my did something or something like that. Oh no. Well, on the assumption that you neither Frank. On the assumption that I make it past both Frank and JJG days. God, I have to stop. See, I don't like to script these because when I script them, then the community on the vlog, they get all mad. They're like, "Oh, you're like, making this stuff up ahead of time." When I don't script it, then it ends up being a 2-hour video that nobody watches. I mean, well, the stats say they watch it, but I know that the eye-rolling crowds don't. So, back I'm harassed. Sorry, I'll put this in the bag. Excuse me, and then we'll get focused. Focus, right? Focus. Okay. So, what's your choice? I wish I knew, but this isn't my live stream, so we'll say, let's analyze it. So, I'm going to say that, how do we frame this? I'm going to use as my answer because I'm going to win the contest. I'm going to be the winner, and I know the answer that I'm going with is, God, I'm just sound like an idiot. The watch. Okay. Now I wonder if that's what you chose. Let's think about what the differences are. Watch does certain things. Let's look at the other two. The knife. I actually think it would be nearly impossible from a Jewish perspective. You need a knife. I mean, that's hard not to have. In tefillin, I mean, it's hard to imagine. You can think that you could set up the case where you can survive, but you're never going to make tefillin, and that's important to being a Jew. You're supposed to say Doraita, right? What about now for you? If you don't wear it, it's just a station on grandma, meaning that we only put tefillin on during the day. I mean, I know it looks dark in my house, but it'd be an interesting question how you compare Mrs. Sensations on Grandma versus a regular Mrs. Say. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not posting, but okay. The knife you need from the throat, right? You can't do you can't have kosher meat without a very, very sharp knife. That's
I mean, it's not. I think that's what it's supposed to say, and a lav. I'm not positive, meaning that they'll say, yes, you must use a sharp knife you must shech your meat, and to shech your meat, you need a knife, so maybe it's hold up, whatever. You get my point. But there could also be a law associated with it, meaning don't use a dull knife to cut your meat, and that makes something negative commandment. And you get what I'm saying. Let's think about the watch. Okay, what does the watch give you? Well, going in direction, the watch I gave you as the premise tells you what day of the year it is. Okay. And why is that important? Because there are only things that we can do on certain days, right? So on a monthly basis, not that it's relevant today, we need to know, given that we don't have a Sanhedrin, we need to know which day is, what day is Rosh Hashanah? Is Rosh Hashanah on this day or that day? Because if we, we need to know what we need to do. Rosh Hashanah has specific commandments that we need to have on that day. Yom Kippur. Now we don't have the Beis Hamikdash today, but you can only do the Yom Kippur service on Yom Kippur. So you get my point. Hanukkah, although that's rabbinic. Okay. Why else is the watch important? The watch is important because we always have a thing that we can pray at any given time. I think I spoke about that, recently with you guys. Meaning that there's never a time in the 24 hours where you're eligible that you can say both, that you could say both a shachas and a mincha, or both a mincha and a marav. We say as a convenience, yeah, I'm going to mincha marav, but we don't mean that because we set up that the meridian, that was mincha at the last possible time, there was in marav at the first possible time. But the bottom line is, there's never any point in the 24-hour clock that you could theoretically stand the two people, each one saying both. I think there's some Mishiyacher, fine, I'm not going to fight with you. What is the time, and we need, and like I said before, you can't say Shacharis until Nates, till the sunrise, when it's daytime. You can't make a bracha on tzitzis at nighttime. Why? Because it says Uri Shemosam, right, in the Shema. And you can only see something in the day. Okay, fine. Perfect example of that is coming up Sunday morning. Perfect example of that is Sunday morning, where Perfect example of that is Sunday morning. Great. Look at how prepared I am. Because you guys have probably never thought about this. Okay, here we go. Now this got a little longer. Why is this up on Yeshua on Sunday morning? Because people learn all night. I'm not going to give a story about that, although it's an interesting little story in the Mishnah Berurah that I saw a couple of days ago, where they came from the Zohar that I never knew the source of. I knew the idea of being up all night because Bnei Yisrael, that there's a medrash that Bnei Yisrael overslept, and I've never been mocked about it for different reasons. Some, good, some lazy, some whatever. But I also knew that it wasn't like there's no place in the Torah that says you have to stay all night. There's the thing that Bnei Yisrael overslept from Mount Torah. I knew that, but I didn't know the source from it. And here's Shulchan Aruch Taf Kuf Gimel in the Mishnah Berurah Chavetz Chaim. No, it's the wrong bookmark. Where am I? All right, it doesn't matter. The point being that after the people are up all night, they've been wearing their tzitzis all night, unless they took them off and put them back on, or something. But you're just wearing your clothes when you get home. You need to make a new bracha on the tzitzis, but you already made the bracha on putting on those tzitzis. And just like if you ate and there was no hefsek in your doing that mitzvah. So, like for example, if you have wine, what you have in the screensaver. If you have wine at the meal on Shabbos and there's a hefsek, you make a second bracha on that same cup of wine. You don't have a hefsek, so you wouldn't make a second bracha on the tzitzis. Okay. So what do we do to deal with that? So we do things around, jiggle or something like that. And we have the same issue with the Birkas Shachar, where you when you start chakras on Shabbos morning, again another thing that you probably never thought of, being that your girls and it wouldn't have applied to you, was maybe your first, maybe discuss it with you here, but you never would have seen this happen, where it's a very big, like they get into this whole thing you see it in shul, of who's going to daven Birkas Shachar, which is normally just like a regular, like, get it done in 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it's getting done 1, 2, 3, but you have to have eligibility now. Birkas Shachar is never a yahrzeit thing. It's getting to that point, and then usually the yahrzeit guy takes over, but you need to have someone who's eligible for it, and that's someone who's left. Because remember, the first bracha of Birkas Shachar, on my eyes. So yeah, that's what. So they'll sometimes bang on the center of shul. Many times, who slept tonight? Who fell asleep? Who took a nap? Or they'll get a kid who did. Because otherwise you can't say the bracha. And then instead of what we do now on a normal day, where we all stand there and say the brachas, and then we wait and then just say amen and do our thing until we get till later. Here it's different. You have to have kavanah that the person saying Birkas Shachar is kavanah for you. So when I say a kid, I mean like a bar mitzvah, because he has to be able to make a bracha for you. Okay, fine. I'm going on. That's not the point. The point is, that the watch tells you when is the time for what. And why is that the key? That's the key, because if you do things in the wrong time, there are implications. What's the implication? That you did a bracha with Atala, and he took God's name in vain. I really shouldn't write notes, because otherwise I end up on these things. I apologize. Sorry, not sorry. So if you take God's name in vain, now you have, let's evaluate that versus those other two choices, right? In terms of the thing. Taking God's name in vain is way higher than making sure that you have the opportunity to do a mitzvah say. Right? We have the concept that if you have in the Torah, that if you have a question, you're sitting here, beautiful hot cup of coffee, did I make a bracha on this or not? The question is, do you make a second bracha before you take a drink, right? And you could argue, well, why not? Let's make a second bracha, because what's the harm? I am blessing Hashem, the ruler of the universe, that he, gives me everything, right? You understand? Whereas the vice versa of that is to not give credit to Hashem at all. I never actually thought of it that way. But we hold Hashem's name and Hashem in general as our absolute, like I would say, just follow, why, when someone says to you, why do we do this commandment? The answer that, that I've been, taught or ingrained, and I've tried to embrace in best I can in my life, and I've tried to instill on you girls, is that, well, it's nice and you can learn and if it gives you comfort to, and if it gives you strength and comfort to understand the reason for Hashem's reasons for giving us different commandments, that's great. But on the other hand, that doesn't really matter. I'm going to do it anyways, because my way of thinking is that, verbatim, word for word. I doubt my voice can do it given the humidity here in my throat, but God runs the show. God runs the show. And so why do we do this mitzvah? Because God told us to. I mean, there's lots of mitzvahs that don't make a lot of sense. So when the people say that we don't eat pig because it's a dirty animal, well, that's great. That may be true. I don't eat pig because God said don't eat pig. Okay? I don't wear linen and wool because God said don't wear linen and wool, not because it gives me a rash or whatever some scientists might say is the reason. And so there you go. There's my, it took me 15 minutes to get to the point of making the, thing to say that, if I have any bracha from you, Ayelet, is that you were able to the way to put it is this, is that it is June 3rd, 2022. And you'll have summer, and then you'll have whatever years of college, and then you'll have whatever years of this and that and that. And you'll never again be in that place where you will be sitting 10 hours a day learning Torah. And that's fine from the standpoint of I don't have any desire or there's no level in my list of priorities for you that you become a rabbinite and that you go to the kollel, if that's the term it exists. There's no lesson in the Torah. There's no place in the Torah that says you need to spend 24 hours a day learning Torah and nothing else. There is no mitzvah in the Torah that says you need to learn Torah. One of the three mitzvahs that a parent is required to teach your children, the three mitzvahs being, as you know, a trade, how to swim, and to learn Torah. But you're now starting the next part of your life where you're going to go learn how to, have a trade, right? Which is the other thing that your mother and I are required to do. I think you all know how to swim. I assume you do. I never actually gave you guys tests on that, and I qualified. So I never thought of that either. Yeah, you can all swim. I'm pretty sure. You're certainly not afraid of the water. So the question is, why is it that this is really like a separation in terms of like a placement? It's because you're going to be faced for the rest of your life with those types of questions and decision trees. And I don't mean like if this that and I mean more in a philosophical thing, just how you run your day, with your head, I make a left turn or a right turn when I come to the street. And my goal, and your mother's goal, I'm sure she would agree, our philosophy has always been that, I'm careless for myself, and, I guess more recently have a better way of saying it, and for me saying it many times, is that I don't believe that there's anything that I could do to guarantee, meaning nobody's ever religious or observant or lives a Torah, ethical and loving and chesed and all these things. None of these things come because their parents, are watching over them when they're 30, 40, 50 years old and, are telling them to do it. So, I'm just struggling to get through this, but, I think you see my point, that when you are leaving out, this is your, I want you to remember and maybe keep this bookmark as your strength, just like in my camp videos, perfect. That's the actual analogy. that this will be a chizuk for you to remember back to this time where you feel on your super high. And that chizuk will be the chizuk that you will get that will help you make the right decision. That is the decision that this type of, mindset will be the clearest to you and you will be able to do. And that will lead you to the next part of your life, next part of the screensaver, next part of your life, the next part of your life, the next part of life. That's really the point of what I was trying to say here. And it took me 20 minutes to say it. And, gosh, it's so, like I told you earlier in the week, by your video, assuming that you understood my Hebrew and here I've learned, I didn't know about this whole 0.25 speed and all that. And you can do it, whatever. But yeah, would be great in life if I had a way that I could get people to hear me in 0.25 speed versus I was talking. That would be a really cool app. I mean, we can make money off that. We'll look into it. But I think we're doing okay on this one. Gosh, I haven't been keeping like a countdown, but you're coming home Wednesday. I'm very excited. Love you very much, and have a wonderful Shabbos. And Shavuos. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. That's okay. That's not pretty nice. Love you. We'll see you soon. Bye.
אני עומד גם מאחורי דברים הקשים עוברים אליך אני עומד
except no climbing ladder.
Okay. ואפילו בהסתרה
Can you climb a ladder?
בהסתרה
I'm the Lord. Okay.
בוודאי גם You're not singing. בוודאי גם שם You're not singing. נמצא השם יתברך ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך איי גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים העוברים אליך אני עומד גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים I'm halfway done אני עומד ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך איי גם מאחורי דברים הקשים עליך אני עומד גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים עליך אני עומד ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך ואפילו שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך איי גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים העוברים אליך אני עומד גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים העוברים אליך אני עומד You done singing? ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך הסערה, בוודאי גם נמצא השם יתברך. שבתוך הסערה, בוודאי גם שם נמצא השם יתברך. אוי אוי אוי, גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים העוברים לך. אני-או, היי, גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים העוברים לך. אני אומר, ואפילו בהסתרה, שבתוך הסערה, בוודאי גם נמצא השם יתברך. ואפילו בהסתרה, שבתוך הסערה, בוודאי גם נמצא השם יתברך. אוי אוי אוי, גם מאחורי הדברים הקשים העוברים לך. אני-או, great. הדברים הקשים העוברים לך. אני-או, ואפילו בהסתרה.
Look it.
Wow.
Look in.